Good morning, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. My name is Priyanka Das, and welcome to today's segment of Quick Morning, where we delve into the latest news and updates from around the country and across the world to set the tone for your day. From tracking PM Modi's visit to Guyana to CBI filing case in Maha Bitcoin scam. Stay tuned as Republic TV brings you the ground realities of these developments. But that's not all. We'll also be bringing you the latest updates from the realms of business, sports and entertainment in our jam-packed lineup for this morning. So let's kickstart today's mega news day here on Republic, as always with the nation first this quick morning. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi described his visit to Guyana as a significant milestone in strengthening the ties between the two countries. He expressed his gratitude to Guyana's President Irfaan for the warm welcome and reflected on his personal connection to the country, having visited 24 years ago as a private citizen. The Prime Minister emphasized that India and Guyana reaffirmed their commitment to resolving issues through dialogue and diplomacy, while also recognizing the need to reform global institutions to tackle the challenges of today's world. Additionally, Modi stressed that both countries share a common priority of climate justice, pledging to continue working towards progress in all areas.
लगभग 24 वर्ष पहले एक सामान्य नागरिक के रूप में मुझे यहां आने का अवसर मिला था। भारत और गयाना के संबंध कितने ऐतिहासिक और गहरे हैं, उसकी झलक मैंने उस समय देखी थी। आज प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में एक बार फिर यहां आना मेरे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है।
Exit polls conducted on Wednesday indicated that the Maha Yuti alliance is likely to retain power in Maharashtra, with the opposition Mahavikas Aghadi or the MBA showing a strong performance. The Republic TV PMark exit poll forecast that the Maha Yuti could win between 137 and 157 seats, while the MBA is projected to secure 126 to 147 seats, with other parties obtaining 2 to 8 seats. The majority mark in the Maharashtra Assembly is 145. Voter turnout for the elections was recorded at 65.08%. This election saw intense competition between the Mahayuti and MBA, marking the first assembly poll in the state following the splits in the Shiv Sena and NCP.
2.5 सालों में एकनाथ शिंदे, देवेंद्र फडणवीस और अजीतदादा पवार जी के सरकार ने जो भी निर्णय लिए हैं, वो भी निर्णय का हमारे महायुति को फायदा होगा।
Voting has concluded for all 81 assembly seats in Jharkhand. With elections held in 2 phases, the first phase of voting ended on November 13th and the second phase wrapped up on November 20th. Voter turnout for the Phase 2 elections was recorded at 68.45%. The contest in Jharkhand is primarily between the NDA and the India Alliance. According to Matrix exit poll data, the NDA is projected to secure 45 seats, while the JMM-led alliance, the JMM Plus, is expected to win between 25 and 30 seats. In terms of vote share, the BJP-led alliance, BJP Plus, is projected to receive 44.9%, while JMM Plus is expected to get 38.2%. Breaking it down by party, the BJP is leading in 42 to 47 seats with a 44.3% vote share, where JMM is leading in 12 to 17 seats with 17.4%. INC is leading in 4 to 9 seats with 10.5%, while the AJSUP is leading in 2 to 7 seats with 8.9%, and others are leading in 2 to 5 seats with 18.9% vote share.
जयपुर अपना काम कर रहा है, लेकिन हम लोग एक क्षेत्र में भ्रमण करके हम लोग संथाल पर हम पूरा एक विधानसभा वहाँ का हर तरह का जनता का आवाज है। जिस हिसाब संथाल परगना सिद्धू कानू धरती का जिस देश से बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ जा रहा है, कभी कोई सोचा नहीं।
On Wednesday, the Central Bureau of Investigation, that CBI, filed a case against 2 individuals in connection with the alleged Maharashtra Bitcoin scam, which has caused stir across the state. Now, the CBI's case involves 6 accused individuals. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate, or the ED, carried out searches at the residence of Gaurav Mehta as part of an ongoing money laundering investigation that's been linked to the cryptocurrency transactions. The ED's raid coincided with the polling day for the Maharashtra Assembly elections, further intensifying the political tension surrounding the case. The action follows claims made by former IPS officer Rabindranath Patil, who was arrested in 2018 for his involvement in the cryptocurrency fraud case. He alleged that Mehta had shared 10 voice notes with him, which purportedly implicated several prominent political figures in Maharashtra. According to Patil, the voice notes included audio clips of Nationalist Congress Party leaders Supriya Sule, Maharashtra Congress chief Nana Patole, and former police officers Amitabh Gupta and former Deputy Commissioner of Police Bhagyashree Navtaki. However, Supriya Sule has dismissed the claims as an attempt to mislead voters in the lead-up to the election.
हमने कोई पाप किया ही नहीं, मैं तो किसान आदमी, तुम हमारे गांव में हो, मैं कैसे रहता हूँ, क्या रहता हूँ, आपने देखा ही है। तो मेरा इशू है कि मैं वो लेवल पे इन लोगों ने लेके गया, बिटकॉइन के लेवल पे। मेरे को खुशी तो है एक बात की कि मैं उस लेवल पे आ गया।
The Uttar Pradesh government quickly took action after the court ordered a survey of Sambhal's Jama Masjid on November 20th. The petition was filed by Mahant Rishi Raj and prominent lawyer Vishnu Shankar Jain, who had also represented the Hindu viewpoint in the Kashi Vishwanath temple case. Jain argued that the mosque was built on the site of the original Harihar Mandir, which was demolished by Mughal Emperor Babur in 1529. The court directed that the survey report of Sambhal's Jama Masjid be submitted within 1 week, and videography of the mosque is currently being conducted. Viewers, tracking the top business stories for the day, we bring you the latest updates on India's economic landscape. From Ford planning layoffs to Trump imposing 40% tariffs on China. Stay tuned as we delve into the key highlights shaping the business world today. Ford Motor says it will reduce its workforce by 4,000 in Europe and UK by the end of 2027, citing headwinds from the economy and pressure from increased competition and weaker than expected sales of electric cars. Ford said Wednesday most of the job cuts would come in Germany and would be carried out in consultation with employee representatives. Of the total, 2,900 jobs would be lost in Germany, 800 in Britain, and 300 in other European Union countries. Ford has 28,000 employees in Europe and 174,000 worldwide. In its November 2024 bulletin, the Reserve Bank of India highlighted ongoing challenges in the domestic financial markets, including a sharp correction in equities and a sustained rise in the US dollar, driven by persistent portfolio outflows. Despite these short-term pressures, the RBI maintained a bullish medium-term outlook, citing the resilience of India's macroeconomic fundamentals. The bulletin also accounted for the rise in the consumer price inflation, with food and core inflation surging in October, while seasonal patterns in economic variables such as rising vegetable prices during the monsoon continue to influence inflation trends. Meanwhile, the RBI's assessments suggest that while near-term volatility persists, India's economic growth trajectory remains supported by strong domestic demand, particularly driven by the festival spending. Bharti Airtel has extended its partnership with Nokia to deploy advanced 4G and 5G equipment across key Indian cities and states. The new deal will see Nokia provide its cutting-edge 5G AirScale portfolio, including base stations, massive MIMO radios, and Reef Shark technology, boosting Airtel's network capacity and coverage. The agreement also includes the modernization of Airtel's existing 4G network with multi-band radios that can support 5G. Leveraging Nokia's AI-powered Manta Ray network management, Airtel will enhance network monitoring and optimization. The collaboration, built on over 2 decades of partnership, also prioritized sustainability through Nokia's Green 5G initiative, aimed at improving energy efficiency and reducing carbon emissions. A recent poll has revealed that the United States, under President Donald Trump, is poised to impose tariffs of around 40% on Chinese imports early next year, potentially slowing China's economic growth by up to 1%. Now, the survey conducted in November suggested that while the anticipated 60% tariffs on Chinese goods may not materialize immediately, the 40% hike is expected to increase inflationary pressures in the US and dampen China's growth in 2025. Economists surveyed predict that China's GDP growth will slow to 4.5% in 2025, with further declines expected in the following years, as the ongoing trade tensions with the US weigh on its economic outlook. Former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan warned against a growing threat of excessive public debt, urging nations like the US to reduce their debt levels to safeguard against future crises. Speaking in Rome, Rajan highlighted the vulnerabilities posed by the massive global debt projected to reach $100 trillion by the end of this year, with the US and China leading as contributors. He stressed that while pandemics and global financial crises may have triggered the debt accumulation in the past, the risk of such events in the future makes high debt levels unsustainable. Rajan called for proactive debt reduction to ensure nations have the financial resilience to face emerging challenges during the impending economic uncertainties. Ajay Seth, the Secretary of the Department of Economic Affairs, addressed that while there may be some undershooting in the capital expenditure target for the current fiscal year, the government has significantly increased its capex allocation to rupees 11.1 lakh crore, up from 9.5 lakh crore last year. Speaking at FICCI's annual convention, Seth explained that this rise accounted for the government's commitment to boosting infrastructure investment. While some underspending is expected, he revealed that the overall increase is substantial compared to the previous fiscal year. Seth also deliberated on the importance of public-private partnerships and market-based reforms to drive growth, alongside addressing challenges like food price inflation. Moving on to our international segment, where we're tracking the ground pulse of some of the biggest global headlines. Today, we delve into significant developments from around the world, from US vetoing against ceasefire in Gaza to Austin backing women in military. Stay tuned as we unravel the latest updates shaping the global landscape. Outgoing U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin defended the incredible role played by women in the U.S. military and explained the decision to supply Ukraine with anti-personnel landmines during a briefing in Laos on Wednesday. Austin commented on the Biden administration approval of sending anti-personnel landmines to Ukraine, which are backed by more than 150 countries, on the sidelines of the ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting in Vientiane. When asked about President-elect Donald Trump's pick of Pete Hegseth to serve as his defense secretary, Austin reflected his skepticism related to the appointment of a novice. Trump's choice of Fox News host Pete Hegseth, tapping someone largely inexperienced and untested on the global stage to take over the U.S. military, was met with skepticism in Washington.
So in my three long tours to Iraq and then one tour in Afghanistan, every place I went, there were women doing incredible things. And they were adding value to the overall effort, whether they were pilots, whether they were operational experts, or whether they were intel experts. I see things differently, and I see that because of my experience, and that experience is extensive. And so I think our women add significant value to the United States military.
U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein, who has spent months trying to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, held a second round of talks with Lebanon's parliament speaker Nabi Berri, an ally of Hezbollah who has been mediating on their behalf. Hochstein told the talks had made additional progress and that he would be heading to Israel to further consolidate the status of the ceasefire. However, he declined to say what the key points were. The comments came as Hezbollah's allies in the Lebanese government said the terrorist group had responded positively to the proposal, which would entail both its fighters and Israeli ground forces withdrawing from a UN buffer zone in southern Lebanon. As per the deal's conditions, the buffer zone would then be policed by thousands of additional UN peacekeepers and Lebanese troops.
There is one president at a time. We are going to work with the incoming administration. We are already going to be discussing this with them. They will be fully aware of everything that we're doing. As President Biden said, there will be an orderly transfer of power, and I don't think that will be an issue here.
The United States has vetoed a UN resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire in the war in Gaza because it is not linked to an immediate release of hostages taken captive by Hamas in Israel in October 2023. The 15-member Security Council voted 14-1 in favor of the resolution, sponsored by the 10 elected members. The resolution that is put to vote on demands of immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire to be respected by all parties and demanded for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages.
Colleagues, the United States deeply regrets this council finds itself here again. The United States worked for weeks in good faith to avoid this outcome. We made clear throughout negotiations we could not support an unconditional ceasefire that failed to release the hostages. Because, as this council has previously called for, a durable end to the war must come with the release of the hostages.
The UN's nuclear watchdog has begun a 3-day summit in Vienna on Wednesday to discuss Iran's nuclear program. Wednesday's meeting, hosted by the International Atomic Energy Agency, comes days after its Director General Rafael Grossi held meetings in Tehran with the Iranian government in a last-minute attempt to improve cooperation. The meeting comes revelations a confidential report after Iran defied international demands to rein in its nuclear program and increased its stockpile of uranium enriched to near weapons-grade levels. Iran's overall stockpile of enriched uranium stands at 6,604 kilograms, an increase of 852.6 kilograms since August. Russia's upper house of parliament on Wednesday endorsed a bill banning adoption of Russian children by citizens of countries where gender transitioning is legal. The Federation Council also approved bills that outlaw the spread of material that encourages people not to have children. The bills, which were previously approved by the lower house, will now go to the President, Vladimir Putin, for assent. The adoption ban would apply to at least 15 countries, most of them in Europe, but including Australia, Argentina and Canada. Adoption of Russian children by US citizens was banned in 2012. President-elect Donald Trump says he's chosen former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker to serve as U.S. ambassador to NATO. Trump has expressed skepticism about the Western military alliance for years. Trump said in a statement Wednesday that Whitaker is a strong warrior and loyal patriot who will ensure that the United States' interests are advanced and defended and strengthen relationships with its NATO allies, and stands firm in the face of threats and peace and stability. The choice of Whitaker as the nation's representative to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, remains as an unusual one, given his background is as a lawyer and not in foreign policy.
The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important job in the world.
All right, viewers, it's time to dive into the world of sports with our segment dedicated to all the action-packed highlights and exciting matchups. Today, we bring you the latest updates from the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, where Hardik Pandya is set to feature. Stay tuned as we unravel the story from the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy and a lot more. Keep listening to All the Buzz right here on our sports segment. Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigesi has a word of advice for World Championship contender D. Gukesh. Ahead of his clash against China's Deng Liren, he said just focus on your preparation and don't count yourself as a huge favourite going into the title showdown. Gukesh, partly because of Liren's listless performances in the lead-up to the World Championship showdown in Singapore from November 25, is being seen as the firm favourite for the crown. Young striker Deepika turned out to be the star once again with a fine reverse hit goal as India retained their Women's Asian Champions Trophy title after edging past Olympic silver medalist China 1-0 in a pulsating final. Deepika scored the winner for India from a penalty corner in the 31st minute to finish as the tournament's highest goal getter with 11 strikes. India had earlier stunned China 3-0 in the league stages of the tournament. IPL mega auction set to take place on November 24th and 25th in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia might not be scheduled in the best of windows as the clash has attracted a lot of severe reactions from former cricketers. Ricky Ponting mentioned that many thought that the 10-day window between the first and second test might have been utilised for the same, but the clash has put their plans in jeopardy. Not just for both of them, but for the channel too, who will have to call in last-minute replacements. Delhi and District Cricket Association announced a jumbo 24-member squad for the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, led by Ayush Badoni, who happens to be the only player in the side retained ahead of the IPL 2025 mega auction. Badoni, who took over from Himmat Singh during the Ranji Trophy, will continue to lead, but both remain very much part of the side. The senior pro, Ishant Sharma, returns for what might be his final hurrah. Former India T20 captain Hardik Pandya is set to feature in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy for the first time after becoming an international cricketer in 2016. Hardik was included in Baroda's squad for the upcoming 2024-25 edition of India's premier domestic T20 competition and will play under brother Krunal Pandya's captaincy. Hardik last played in domestic cricket back in 2018-19 in the Ranji Trophy for Baroda and will be playing the S-Match for the first time in 8 years. 2 nights before the start of the Border Gavaskar Test Series in Perth, former Australia captain Ricky Ponting exposed a glaring selection error in the Indian team, which Australia can exploit to claim the trophy for the first time in over a decade. Ponting felt that India made a mistake by not picking Cheteshwar Pujara for the series, who could bat for long hours and leave the Australia attack tired. Genoa confirmed Patrick Vieira as its new coach on Wednesday, and it remains to be seen what implications that will have for Mario Balotelli less than a month after the former Italian forward joined the Serie A club. Vieira and Balotelli were teammates at Inter Milan and Manchester City, but fell out when Vieira was Nice coach, eventually leading to Balotelli's moving to Marseille. Simon Dewell did not hold back when discussing India coach Gautam Gambhir's future. Dewell said that Gambhir's tenure with the team could be shorter than Greg Chappell's. Gautam Gambhir has come under fire for falling short of expectations during his coaching tenure. Despite having some success, Team India suffered some of their most significant losses, including an away series against Sri Lanka in ODIs and a historic Test series loss at home to New Zealand. Star Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen progressed to the second round with superlative wins in the women's and men's singles events at the China Masters Super 750 badminton tournament in Shenzhen. Hardik Pandya topped ICC T20 International All-Rounder chart after India's 3-1 win in South Africa. Tilak Verma entered top 10 batter. Sanju Samson rose to the 22nd. Tracking the buzz, it's time to delve into the world of entertainment. Today, we bring you highlights from Coleman Domingo returns for the madness, this and more as we unravel all the latest updates from the entertainment industry this morning. Coleman Domingo, the actor, shared that while filming The Madness, his character was from West Philadelphia, but the production was mostly shot in Toronto. However, some exterior scenes were filmed in New York and Philadelphia as well. Domingo requested to shoot in West Philly, hoping to connect with his roots. He mentioned that one of the final shots in the series featured a park he frequented as a child, located just across the street from his elementary school. He saw this as a way to include personal Easter eggs and to ground the project in his own experiences. Additionally, some childhood friends visited the set and appeared as extras, making the production feel like a family affair filled with love.